This soft life, yeah, that they're portraying to you on social media is a scam. It's a scam. And when I realized it, that's when I got myself to work. It's a scam. Let me tell you something. First of all, right? If you're wishing for soft life, yeah, and you're doing it in the way that a lot of these people are trying to tell you to do it, like date up, date somebody more successful than you, that means that you are basing the fact that your whole life is going to be in the hands of a man. Men that can wake up today after 36 years of marriage and say that I don't feel like being with you anymore, and you can ask them why, and they say, I just don't feel like it. That's the person you're basing your future on. Excuse me, my friend, if you don't get up and get yourself a job, listen, soft life is it's amazing. I'm all for it, right? But a lot of the time you need to create a soft life for yourself. It's amazing if on the way you meet a man that can take that burden off of you and do it for you. I would love to meet a man like that. I would plan to meet a man like that. But in my plan, I will make sure that I work hard enough that if that should never happen, I am set. Soft life is a scam. It's a scam. Don't look at a lot of these girls that you're watching, yeah? They're working hard, you know? But they're not showing you how early they get up. They're not showing you what they have to do to get their money. They're not showing you that. All they're showing you is the apartment, the car, and the house. You know that house is paid with money, right? Yes. Okay, so where do people get their money? Because yes, a lot of people are getting their money in ways that aren't ethically right for you. That's fair, right? So you wouldn't do that. But if they're not getting their money from pimping themselves out, they're working. So as much as this soft life thing is being promoted, I also need people to start telling people how hard they're working. Because you might be looking at Jada Wader, yes, but Jada Wader gets up early. Jada Wader's at the meeting on time. I have Jada Wader on Snap. Jada Wader don't sit still. So as much as it's soft life because she's finally reaping what she sowed, she had to work hard to get there. Do you understand? So this whole soft life thing, like, you're not going to get a good life by just hoping that you date the right man. Of course, that could happen, but what are the chances? Are you really going to base your life on that? Nah, sorry, me, I'm working, boy. If you see these dark bags, I'm working. Why? Because I want to be able to say, yeah, soft life when I'm older. I would love to say that my husband did it for me, fantastic, but I'm not basing my entire life on my husband doing good things and working well. Because if he decides he doesn't want to be with me, I'm done.
The soft life, it doesn't exist. You are either giving up your freedom to a man or you are working very hard to build your own. There are very few provider men nowadays. They're going to expect something in exchange for their provision. You will have to cater to them, their needs, their desires, their fetishes, selflessly, in ways that often compromise your self-worth. The alternative is to work really hard and build yourself a soft life. The problem is that there's a bunch of liars on social media, whether they're selling you a course or just trying to build their following to get brand deals, that make you think that road is easy. They're telling you what to do to have this soft life, and you fail because you didn't take into account how difficult it is. All of the sleepless nights that you will have, the things you have to give up in order to get to having a soft life, because you have to build a business, you have to build yourself, and all of those things are incredibly hard to do. I don't say these things to be discouraging because I know anyone can build themselves that life. The problem is that you are set up to fail because people are lying about what it takes. I rebuilt my life after prison with just having $60 in it. If I can do it, you can too.
If your goal was to eat, you cannot complain about having a lot on your plate. A lot of women claimed that they wanted the soft life. You want to be a soft girly. I get it. But most of you do not want to do what it takes to get to that point. When the girls in tech, law, finance, and healthcare got on here and showed you guys what living a soft life looked like, you are so in love. That's exactly the life that you wanted. But I can bet majority of you are not willing to put in the work that it takes to get to that point. Law school, med school, nursing school, grad school, these are not easy tasks. But you go through that hard time so that on the other side, you can have a much easier life. A lot of people want to get into entrepreneurship because they like the idea of not being on anyone else's time, having their own schedule. But the downside of that is you're not on a schedule. You have to decide everything. It is very tedious work. So reevaluate what you really want, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't actually want a soft life. You want to be treated like a baby. Good luck with that.
There was a time when the internet fell in love with a new dream: a slower pace, pretty mornings, financial ease, rest without guilt. That dream was called the soft life. It rose as a response to burnouts, to struggle, to generations, especially women, being told that suffering was a badge of honor. Soft life meant choosing peace over chaos, rest over constant struggle, alignment over exhaustion. It meant romanticizing life, prioritizing mental health, and believing that ease was not laziness but self respect. But for a while, it did something powerful. It gave people permission to breathe, to say no, to want more than survival. Online, it looked beautiful. Neutral tones, quiet luxury, morning routines, I don't stress energy, a life that seemed curated, calm, and untouched by reality. But as time passed, the meaning started to shift. What began as a boundary slowly became an aesthetic. What started as healing slowly became pressure. And what was meant to free people from struggle started to feel unreachable. Today, the soft life is no longer just seen as peace. It's often perceived as privilege, avoidance, or even denial of reality. Many now question whether it was sustainable, honest, or inclusive. Others feel delusioned, realizing that ease without effort, structure, or resilience comes at a cost. So, what happens when the fantasy meets real life? When bills, discipline, ambition, and responsibility knock on the door? When softness alone is no longer enough? This is not just about the end of an era, it's about what we misunderstood, what we outgrew, and what comes next. Welcome to the conversations on the fall of the soft life era and what life is really asking of us now.
Be a hot take or whatever, but some of you are so wrapped in the idea of a soft life or the aesthetics of it, the appearance of a soft life, that you ironically are making life harder for you. And one thing that people have to get in their brain is just because a road appears easier doesn't necessarily mean it is easier. Sometimes it's just delayed difficulty. And for example, when I first moved to LA for school, I met a plethora of women who, from the outside looking in, you would be so convinced they were living the ideal soft life, right? Waking up whenever, random activities on a Tuesday, taking trips, Pilates, working out. Life just seemed so easy for them. And meanwhile, I had 8 a.m. class in the morning. In my conversation with a lot of these women at the time, they were either waiting for a man to save them, going to figure it out later, or a lot of things like doing the work was just too hard. Message for my girlies, especially my young girlies: just because a road appears easier doesn't mean it necessarily is, okay? Sometimes it's just delayed. And what I learned is I did the hard things early. I invested in myself. I did the work. I made sacrifices. I prioritized discipline. And for that, my life became softer because of that, not in spite of it. I think sometimes we misconstrue things and we take it to the extreme and we say work is anti-soft, and when really work sometimes is pro-self. There is nothing anti-soft about pursuing yourself, working towards your dreams, working towards the desires of your heart, and making it happen for yourself. Again, a lot of these women that I come across were waiting for a man to fund their life. There is nothing soft about having to depend on someone for you to eat, sleep, breathe, spend money, whatever. There is nothing soft about lacking autonomy, peace of mind, stability, independence. There is truly nothing luxurious about quitting on yourself because it feels too hard. Again, a lot of the women you see who are truly living a soft life, they did the work. Soft life requires hard work. Sometimes it might look like doing things differently than what everyone else is doing around you. It might be sitting out of a couple things. It might be saying, well, that's out of my budget right now. It might be stepping out and not partaking in all the fun because you have a mission and you have a vision. What you do now has consequences later, whether you like them or you love them. And that's for you to choose, right? That's for you to decide. Life isn't just going to magically become softer because you sit back and sit in a robe and think that blessings will just fall out of the sky. side. Like, you are going to have to meet your vision, your faith with work.
I don't even mind being the one to say it, but the soft life girls, they've been lying to us. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I've made such a bold statement. They come online on social media, TikTok, and only show like the good side, you know, the soft life, holidays, luxury this, luxury that, you know, all these things that makes you think, wow, the soft life. And then they tell you that, you know, all you have to do is just sit where you are and you can manifest it, and all these soft things will come to you. And, you know, we're all about the soft life era. We're all about having baths and lighting candles and doing all these fancy things, right? I've come to realize that these girls that are showing you and selling you the soft life, because that's what they're doing, they're selling you a lifestyle for you to aspire to, they're not living a soft life themselves. A lot of these girls, you know, they're content creators. They come and they curate this lifestyle for you to aspire to and tell you, you know, it's all about self-care. Content creation is not easy. To be consistent on social media is actually hard work. I think this applies especially if you're a younger girl and you're watching these things thinking, oh, you know, I don't have to work hard, or all the things are going to come to me. And don't get me wrong, I believe in, you know, positive thinking and thinking about and visualizing the things that you want. I think that stuff actually works. But if you do that and don't put in any work, nothing soft is going to come to you. And I think it's really important to understand the season of life that you're in, because the girls that are living the truly soft life have put in some sort of work. Don't get it twisted. Don't get deceived by these people online telling you that all you have to do is sit there and everything you want is going to come to you. Nothing good that lasts, emphasis on lasts, nothing good that lasts comes easy. Understand that you're going to have to put in work. I'm not saying you need to become a corporate slave and become a slave to money, but you're going to have to put in some sort of work to get what you want out of life. That's just a life. And you can still look good whilst doing it, and you can still live a balanced, healthy, happy life whilst doing it, but nothing good that's worth having and that stays and lasts comes easy. That soft life that you want is on the other side of your consistency and your dedication.
As the daughter to a single immigrant woman, I'm going to tell you why I do not believe in the stay-at-home girlfriend, soft life, man provides everything for me rhetoric that I see a lot on this app, and why I actually think it's very detrimental for young girls to hear it. So my mom was married to my dad, obviously, that's how they had me, and basically, she went into it as I think any Indian woman in the 90s growing up in India went into things. That she was going to be a stay-at-home mom, she was going to have kids, she was going to run the house, and my dad was going to provide for everything. Unfortunately for her, that was not her reality. Very early on, she realized that my dad could not be counted upon. He's from a wealthy family. He just is not a very accountable person. Long story short, if she did not have her education, if she did not have her work experience, if she did not have her professional connections, we would have been high and dry. I don't know what our life would have been. But because she was educated, because she had some work experience before getting married, because she leveraged her contacts after she got married and things got rough, she was able to build quite a career, take care of me, leave my abusive, good-for-nothing dad, and actually have a life for us. In the long run, she has been able to give herself basically everything she's wanted, to be able to travel, material things, all of those things. In the same vein, I have a cousin who also got married to her husband like any good traditional Indian girl does, and think that he's going to provide for everything. And he does. He pays for the house, he provides the groceries, all of those things. She, however, did not continue educating herself. She did not build work experience. She's kind of lost all her professional contacts. And what that means is, does he provide her basic needs? Yes. But if she wants a purse or a pair of shoes or an outfit, he has to approve everything. If he doesn't like the color purple, she's not getting it. The reason I'm saying this is because if you want to give yourself everything in the world with no questions asked, traveling, outfit, whatever you want, the only person who can give it to you is yourself. Some of us are blessed with, generous parents. Some of us are blessed with, there's going to be a great man out there who probably wants to give you everything he can. But the sure shot way for you to have everything you want is for you to give it to yourself. And I see so much conversation about going to bars in New York City dressed a certain way, trying to attract a man. Your energy is so much better spent by you educating yourself, by you getting work experience, by you growing yourself, than finding hacks and ways to find a man who gives you all of this. So
there's nothing soft about a life where a man is providing a lifestyle to you, expensive or not, where you constantly are stressed about what he's doing. You constantly got to babysit him. You constantly crying. You constantly stressed. You constantly getting into it with other women. Nothing is soft or peaceful about that type of lifestyle. That is actually a very expensive price tag to trade in your peace of mind, to be stressed all for somebody to take care of you. And knowing that said person is taking care of you has the upper hand so much in the relationship that you have to watch what you do and say, because you know that this person has the ability to take everything from you. So you walking on eggshells constantly, because you know that all it takes is for you to upset this man by confronting him about stuff that he's doing, and he can take everything from you. He can cut the cards off. He can kick you out the house. He can take the cars from you. He can end your whole lifestyle off of you confronting him about stuff that he's doing. There's nothing stress-free about that. There's nothing soft about that life. You can miss me with it's better to cry on a Rolls Royce than a Honda or Toyota. Well, guess what? Sometimes you're going to be crying on the street. Because if he decided he want to take that Rolls Royce from you and your name ain't on it, you ain't even got a car to cry in no more. I'll always choose a life where I provided for myself and a man can only add to it. But I'm extremely uncomfortable with the idea of somebody having that type of control over me, because there's nothing peaceful about it. There's nothing peaceful about knowing that somebody has the ability to take everything from me. There's nothing peaceful about me having to worry about what another person is doing, whether or not this person's intentions are pure. Being single comes with a lot of benefits, and one of the biggest benefits is the peace of mind. It's priceless. It's literally priceless. Never having to overthink or worry about what somebody else is doing besides yourself is a peace of mind that nobody can touch. They can't. That's why when you're single for too long, you get comfortable. And it's hard to get back out there, because trying to find somebody and still be able to stay at the peace of mind that you at when you're single is very difficult.
Yeah, I'm really loving this whole soft life movement, but it's not meant for everybody. That shit is not meant for everybody. And a lot of women out here preaching soft life. Oh, you need to find a man to take care of you. You need to find a man to do this and that. Not realizing what times we are in. I will never, ever tell a woman to solely depend on a man for any fucking thing. That doesn't make you independent. That doesn't make you... When you have your own, you move differently. When you have your own shit going on, you get to choose differently when it comes to dating. But when you solely depend on a man for your finances and your lifestyle and everything like that, when shit hit the fan, when he struggles, his struggle will become your struggle, okay? And you don't want that shit, I promise you. When you have your own, it's easier to walk away from something that does not serve you. But when you're operating out of desperation, where you're operating out of the bag, you're going to find yourself in situations that you may not want to be in. So I will always tell women, date up, yes, but at the same time, make sure you got your own shit going on. Because when shit hit the fan, at least you know you're straight at the end of the day. And you won't have to be confining in a man to make sure that you're good. You're going to make sure you're good at the end of the day. And yes, I understand love do not pay bills, but money cannot buy love either. Just ensure that you're not solely moving off of desperation and just chasing the bag from a man. You can have both. You can provide for yourself and also have a man provide for you. And the love is there. It's nothing like love being in a relationship with someone that you genuinely want to be with. No other feeling in the world. And a man that loves you will provide for you. A man that loves you will take care of you. And a man that loves you will lead you.
Because the way that the lazy girls came in and try to rebrand
being lazy to soft girl life. What is wrong with y'all? What is actually wrong with y'all? Is soft life really a thing? 100%. 100%. But this is why we really do got to get back to gatekeeping, because lazy women done entered the chat. Lazy women have entered the chat and they're trying to blend it with soft girl. No, you're lazy. You're lazy. You don't want to bust a chop. You don't want to have to work hard for anything. You don't want to have to do what it takes. You don't want to do the hard thing for the soft life. You don't want to do that part. And then y'all get online acting like y'all just so fascinated with Beyonce, so fascinated with Jackie Aina. Y'all act like all these beautiful women that's showing up online and showing up in these spaces. Y'all try to act like y'all just so inspired by them. But if they really sat down across from you and held your hand and really told you all that it took, you wouldn't do nothing on the list because you are lazy. We don't talk about it enough. I'm so tired of lazy women infiltrating the space, trying to use the language of women that are out here actually trying to make something happen and make something shake. We are not the same. Y'all stop coming into the dancery. We not the same. Y'all are different. Y'all are different, and y'all keep trying to live through these women that's actually out here trying to do something. Y'all not trying to do nothing. You are an internet panhandler. Y'all are weakening the systems. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It needed to be said. It needed to be said. You ain't did nothing all year to try to get close to your goals and dreams. Your biggest aspiration is hoping that you land a man that can do it for you. That is your biggest goal. Is hoping that you land a man that just do it for you. So then you don't have to take care of yourself like the adult that you are. I'm so tired of playing with y'all. I am. And if TikTok really do gotta leave, if TikTok going out, this is how I'm gonna end my page. Cause I needed to get that off my chest.
Let a sister know. Are you intentionally living a hard life? Let me know. Let me know. Everybody and their grandmama, great grandmama, and great great grandmama is talking about a soft life. Now, this soft life is supposed to be, quote unquote, not a hard life. Now, I don't know who out here in these streets are intentionally living a hard life. Like, let a sister know. Are you intentionally living a hard life? Let me know. Let me know. Like, who in their right mind is intentionally living a hard life? I am not saying that people don't have difficult lives. I'm just saying they're not intentionally, with good knowledge and resources, living these lives. Now, the soft life is depicted as, luxury bags, luxury trips, luxury clothing. Let me tell you something. Luxury is what you make it, number one. Luxury is what you make it. I grew up poor and I didn't know I was poor. Poor in the ghetto in Jamaica, I didn't know, because my mother made my life soft with nothing. I didn't know that we were out here living hard life. With that being said, a soft life doesn't have to look like luxury. Luxury vacations, clothing, bags, or whatever the case is. A soft life, sis, can look like you budgeting for the life you want. You living in this present moment. You allowing yourself to heal, feel, and just breathe. You inviting wellness, a mentally well life, a mentally and emotionally well life into your life. That is a soft life. You can, look, we're going to be joyful. Cook your own gourmet meal. Plan and budget for that vacation or staycation. It's okay. Buy within your means. It doesn't have to be luxury. Luxury is here. It's what you make it. With nothing, change around the bedroom, change around the living room, change around the house if you feel like it. Allow yourself to be happy and comfortable within your own domain.
Do not live your life on someone else's terms. Live your life on your own terms. Live your own soft life on your own terms, with joy and a smile and with Christ.
The soft life wasn't a lie, it was a lesson. It taught us to value rest, boundaries, and self care in a world that glorifies constant struggle. It reminded us that life doesn't have to be a grind from sunrise to sunset, and that peace is worth protecting. But as we've seen, peace alone isn't enough. A life of ease without effort, of comfort without responsibility, eventually meets reality. And when the filters fade, the neutral tones blur, and the curated mornings end, we realize that soft life, like any dream, needs depth, resilience, and action to survive. The fall of the soft life era isn't a failure, it's a wake up call, a chance to take the lessons it gave us, rest, self love, boundaries, and combine them with growth, discipline, and courage to create a life that isn't just comfortable, but also strong, meaningful, and real. So, as you move forward, ask yourself, are you chasing the image of ease, or are you building a life that's soft and powerful? If this video made you think, hit the like button. Subscribe for more honest conversations about culture, growth, and the realities behind the trends. And don't forget to drop a comment sharing your thoughts. How are you redefining what a soft life really means for you?